to South Carolina. Lessons from New Hampshire. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. Okay, let's do the Republican race first. Trump did great in New Hampshire, more than 2 to 1.
What did he do right?
Place. Well, number one is I think he got a lesson in campaigning from losing Iowa. He became a better candidate by the end of last week.
More humility, I think.
A little humility. He was better in the debate a week ago. The one that Rubio crashed and burned in.
Let's move on.
And his campaign was run better. He had a well-run campaign.
Ted Cruz, what did he do right?
Well, he got 3rd place in New Hampshire, which no one really had expected. It was a bonus for him to get 3rd.
So he
His action starts next Saturday in South Carolina, and especially the SEC primary. Kasich is the other one we got to talk about.
Okay.
Because Kasich is lining himself up, maybe, to be the establishment anti-Trump guy.
Are there any votes to Kasich in South Carolina?
No. Yeah.
So
he's in 2nd place.
You brought up the word establishment. Did you see what Donald Trump talked about a little bit last night? Not a little, a lot of it, with regard to the establishment
impeaching
and
the former president.
And the choices that were made via Iraq, so on and so forth. Real quickly, Pat, what are your thoughts?
I don't want to get. I want to go back to how he got to where he was. One, losing Iowa helped set him up for New Hampshire, because as I tried to point out before, when everyone said he would run the tables, he won Iowa, a lot of his voters, a quarter according to the Monmouth poll, stayed home because they weren't sure they wanted to go that way. But having done that, that set up, and he did campaign better. And you know what? He got on message. And when he's on message, he is dangerous, because that is the message the country wants to hear. Anti-establishment, anti-free trade, immigration, all of that. And he's got these establishment people here, and he is going to, in my opinion, slaughter them.
All right, let's get to the anti-establishment talk that was last night, Doug.
Yeah, he went very far to have a Republican candidate attack the last elected Republican, as he did on Iraq, on the...
He backed off that impeachment language, to be fair.
9/11, yeah.
Right.
But that being said, what Pat is saying, I think, is the larger point. It's not so much the substance, is the fact that Trump is taking on a political establishment that is largely reviled. Pat did important research on how the Republican electorate didn't want McConnell or then Boehner to be reelected. It's those sentiments that Donald Trump is playing to. He's up, what, 15, 20 points in South Carolina in all the polls, and there's no evidence that anyone's gaining on it.
And Doug, on that line, he is coming out against the omnibus spending bill that came out the week before Christmas. He's hitting that thing all the time.
He is all over the place with this.
He watches this show, because we said on here that thing could be a huge issue in the Republican primaries.
The Republican base believes that it has been sold out by its leadership in Washington, and you got those guys standing there all being part of it, Rubio and Bush and Kasich and whatever. And but Cruz, let me just say something. He's going to be a factor. He did a lot better in New Hampshire and got little credit for it, finishing 3rd. But he's got a tough road to hoe, because South Carolina is so populist and out of the box right now, and Trump is lighting all those fires.
Yes, one second. I have just another question or so about this. You mentioned Jeb Bush. Is he finding his footing? I mean, a lot of people are saying that he did well at the debate last night. Why are you shaking your head now?
I don't think it's there for Jeb Bush. He's not a great candidate.
He's got a lot of money he can hang in.
Well, that's separate. He's not a great candidate, and the Bush thing has run its course. And what he is doing with Rubio and Kasich, they are the ones that are helping Trump, you know, because they're splitting up this anti-Trump vote. Trump's got 35 to 40%. That means 60% doesn't want Trump, but they can't congeal behind one guy, because there are 4 guys.
All right. We'll get to the Democrats in a second.